Hey, what's up, guys? DSX Revan here. It's been a while since I talked about One Piece, but after 907, I think I have to get back to discussing One Piece, on a weekly basis, because this was a really great, surprising chapter, and it totally highlights what makes Oda one of the greatest mangakas ever. This chapter, it just shows you what makes One Piece so good, and a huge component of that is One Piece world building. Oda leaves hints and traces like everywhere, and he foreshadows a lot, and at the end of the day, no loose knot is left untied. Everything comes full circle. So I love it how the celestial dragon that saved Shirahoshi in the end, he's the same he's the same celestial dragon from Fishman Island. His ship crashed and he was on Fishman Island, and he was injured, he was dying, and he was asking the fishermen for help, but he's asking them for help while shooting at them and insulting them. So how could you be asking us to save your life while insulting us and calling us your slaves? So that didn't really make much sense. And part of his dialogue, he was surprised that the fishermen didn't like him. And he was just like, wait, I'm a celestial dragon. How could you not like me? That's impossible. Everyone likes me, But he didn't realize that, like, hey, this is Fishman Island. Here the people are free. If something happens to you, the Marines, the admirals, they're not just gonna run and come save you. This is Fishman Island. You're not on the surface anymore. So it was during his trip to Fishman Island that he realized, like, the world is kind of messed up. Them saving his life taught him a major lesson. And as he said, Otsahime, who ultimately took a bullet for him, she made him human. So it was good to see that, these celestial dragons, they could turn a new leaf. It's good to see that not all of them are assholes, because all the celestial dragons that we saw previously to him, they were not human. Okay, they thought they were just gods and they could do whatever they want. So it was great to see him in this spot, just hitting another celestial dragon with a bludgeon weapon. I mean, the guy smacked St. Charles with a mace. Like, personally, I thought like celestial dragons did everything with guns, like eat, sleep, pray, everything with guns. That's what I thought. So it was cool to see him with a mace. I mean, that was really cool. Now, Charles, he totally deserved that. I mean, we're at the reverie and you just come out of nowhere doing whatever you want, having somebody pinning down Shirahoshi, tying her up, dancing, talking about, oh, I caught one, talking about how you're gonna make her your pet. And the kings, the world leaders, there's nothing they could do about it but just look, because if they do something, their entire country will be destroyed, because these guys are celestial dragons. So what happens to St. Charles, it was really, he totally deserved that. I guess that's his purpose in One Piece, just getting knocked around unexpectedly, and I can't say I don't like it. I totally loved it. So we see the Gorosei, right? And every time we see the Gorosei, some major exposition is about to happen, right? Or they're talking about the Will of Deer or some shit like that. So we see the Gorosei, and I realize there's a guy on the right hand side. So I'm like, who's that guy? Like, what is he? And then I caught a glimpse at Shanks at the beginning, at the lower left corner of the page. Like, oh, that was such a great moment. Because what the heck? Shanks? Who expects Shanks to be in Marijoa? Shanks in Marijoa. Oh, wow. That was a great moment, because I'm thinking, like, he's a pirate, he's a Yonko. Why would he go to Marijoa, the headquarters of the world government? But at the same time, he's a Yonko, and the Five Elder Stars, the Gorosei, they respect the Yonkos and their position in the world, because the Yonkos, pretty much their job, knowingly or unknowingly, is to stop one pirate from becoming too powerful. So they have these territories, and if one pirate takes over that territory, they pretty much gonna fight, and there will only be one Yonko remaining, pretty much. And so you won't have a pirate king. Once one pirate becomes too powerful, that pirate is, pretty much heading towards the pirate king status, and the world government do not want another pirate king. So at the same time, if Shanks shows up at Marijoa, it's not like they're gonna try to kill him or anything. They respect him because of his position in the world, as they said, because of who you are. Now, Shanks tells the Gorosei that he's there to talk about a certain pirate. Now, automatically I assume that this certain pirate is Luffy, is Monkey D. Luffy, but I don't think this pirate is Luffy. As of right now, in the story, right? Let's see. At least right now in the Four Emperor Saga, right, or the Throne Wars, right? We've been to Whole Cake Island. We've met Big Mom, and we have fought Big Mom. Luffy and his crew, they fought Big Mom. We've met Kaido, and we're heading towards Wano right now. And now we see Shanks in Marijoa. So who is the other Yonko who's left out? That's Blackbeard. I think Shanks is here to talk about Blackbeard. If it was a certain pirate, I think his face would have, I don't know, I think his countenance would have been a bit different for some reason. Maybe a smile for some reason. I don't know why. But I think he's talking about Blackbeard because Blackbeard is probably doing something that the Gorosei, they have to know about. Because soon, if there's somebody don't stop him, maybe not even the Yonkos will be able to stop Blackbeard. Because what I think Blackbeard is going after is an ancient weapon, and I think he's going after Pluton. Yeah, that is the only way that I see, only possible way I see Shanks coming to Marijoa to talk to the Gorosei about. That's the only thing I see him coming there to talk to them about, and that's Blackbeard possibly going after the ancient weapon Pluton. Because why else? If this is not about Blackbeard and Pluton and Aokiji, what else could it be about? And yeah, I mean, what else? I mean, could it be about Luffy? Like what? He's gonna go there and be like, hey, I want you guys to stay away from Luffy. He's a friend of mine. He's a little kid that I entrusted Roger's will to. I don't want you guys to go after him. If you go after him, you're picking a fight with me too, and you don't want to fight with me too. I don't really think that's the route Oda is going. I think it's definitely the Blackbeard route. And at this time in the story, I think it's time we get to see what Blackbeard is up to, what his true goal really is. Alright, so that was Shanks and Rogers. Let's get to the other two Yonkos, Big Mom and Kaido. Long ago, Big Mom and Kaido, well, exactly 40 years ago, it was Big Mom and Kaido's era. Before Roger's era, it was Big Mom and Kaido's. Now, I thought it would be Whitebeard's era since Whitebeard was like the strongest, man alive, so I might assume it was his era, but no, it was Roger's, it was Big Mom's and Kaido's. Now, I'm guessing like during Roger's era, while Roger was, on the brink of becoming Pirate King, Big Mom and Kaido kind of parted ways because, well, they both wanted to become Pirate King and they knew that they could never do it together. It's like, I was gonna say it's like Shaq and Kobe. It's like they both want to be the man, and it's kind of hard to do that when you got two giant egos on one team. So they kind of decided that it was best for them to just, separate, and that's exactly what they did. Now, what exactly did Big Mom do for Kaido to the point where she can give him an order that he can't refuse? I'm guessing that Big Mom saved Kaido's life in the past, because she said that the debt that he owes her is a lifelong debt. So I'm sticking to lifelong debts. So I'm thinking Big Mom definitely saved Kaido's life. And here's what I think happened. I think while they were teaming up, Kaido was injured. And again, Kaido, back then I think Kaido was a strong, notorious pirate, but wasn't yet Kaido, king of 100 beasts, 100 beast Kaido. I don't think it was 100 beast Kaido then, but he was really strong. Anyways, he was mortally injured, and the only way to save his life was Big Mom saved his life by taking his soul and placing it into an object where Kaido became pretty much a homie, and that homie ate a devil fruit. And I think that was the Oni fruit. Yes, I think Kaido is the Oni. So, after that, that's when Kaido kind of became this monster, this creature that she calls, like, you know, kind of like it, because he's not a man, you know, he's like a thing. So yeah, I think Kaido was on the brink of death. Big Mom saved his life, and if she didn't turn him into a homie, I think she placed his soul into a devil fruit, and then some homie ate the devil fruit or something like that. But I definitely think it's something with her saving Kaido's life, because Kaido, as I said, I think he's an Oni, and Onis are like associated with like souls and devils and things, and Big Mom has the soul fruit, so I definitely think it writes itself. Now I also think I figured out why, based on that theory, I figured out why Kaido wants to die. I think during that moment, right, Kaido was on the brink of death, and he kind of had a flash, you know, before you die, you kind of have a flashback of all your life experiences. So I think Kaido had a similar experience where he was about to die, and he was worried about what would become of him, you know, what happens when you die, what happens to the people he loves, and he was scared. And I think after he ate that devil fruit and he became it, or he became, you know, 100 Beast Kaido, what am I? I don't know how I lost my train of thought right there. But anyways, before he, I think he wants to get back to that. I think he wants to get back to being human. Like when he was afraid to die, he was human. But after he ate that fruit, he became inhuman. Like, he had no fears because he knew that pretty much nobody could kill him. He could not die, so he started to kill him. He wanted to kill himself. You know, he wanted to feel alive again, and I think that's why Kaido wanted to face Whitebeard, because Whitebeard is the strongest man alive. So you think fighting the strongest man alive, all right, I'll have an opportunity to have that feeling again, that feeling of being alive. So I think that's Kaido's secret. Like, he just doesn't feel human, and he wants to have that humanity brought back to him, and kind of like that celestial dragon, you know, like how he was like he was insulting the fisherman while asking him to save his life, and then, you know, he learned a lesson, he became human. Maybe that's it, you know, Kaido wants to be human again. Sounds crazy, but that's just where I stand with that right now. Garp think it's funny that I laugh too. I mean, like, two Yonkos going after Luffy because of Big News Morgans. Can you believe that? And Garp thinks it's funny, you know? I mean, this is just like when Sengoku was telling him about how Luffy broke out of Impel Down, how he declared war against the world government by burning the flag at Enies Lobby, you know, how he punched his celestial dragon at Sahabody Archipelago. So, and Garp was laughing, and he wasn't listening to anything Sengoku was saying, and then Sengoku ate his crackers, and that's what made Garp, you know, stop laughing and got a bit serious, you know. So, but I thought it was funny, and it's great to see Garp again. You know, he's in a good mood. I thought he would, you know, be different. I thought his personality would kind of change, especially around matters concerning his, you know, his grandson, since Ace chose the pirate route and, you know, he died. So I'm surprised he's not a bit worried about Luffy, because, you know, that's two Yonkos going after Luffy. I mean, shit, if that was my grandson, I'd be worried, but I guess, you know, he has faith in the will of D. Also, according to Jaimin's translation, what did it say? You are hailed as the hero of the Marines because of, oh, are you talking about the rocks? Now, that line got me, like, rocks, what rocks could they be talking about? And the only rocks that comes to mind are the Dino Stones. Now, if you've seen One Piece film Z, Zephyr had the Dino Stones, and Kizaru went after him, you know, to, I guess, try to gain control of the Dino Stones, right? And who was also in One Piece Film Z? Rob Lucci. And almost all those people, except, well, of course, Zed, because it's not really canon, are in this chapter. So when they talk about rocks, I think they're talking about the Dino Stones. So you might have a a what do you call a movie MacGuffin making its way into the One Piece manga. And personally, I would love that. Really, I would love to have the Dino Stones make their way into this One Piece world, and maybe that's when we'll meet Shiki again. Maybe Shiki has some Dino Stones. We don't know, but I love it. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think they meant by rocks? I say Dino Stones from Film Z. What do you guys think? Let me know below. Now, going back to the Big Mom and Kaido situation, their communication was wide open, so Big Mom was so angry that she didn't even care if the Marines were listening. And she kind of knew they were listening, but she was so furious with Luffy and Big News. Now, Akainu is, well, Barcelino, Kizaru wants to go to Wano, but he's not so sure, because Wano is Wano, man. Like, there's like a military force in Wano that is freaking strong, them samurais, and they don't want none of them. So at the end, they decided that, you know, Wano is not in the jurisdiction of the Marines, so they cannot go to Wano. And I don't know. I don't believe that. Like, I would love to see Kizaru go, though. I want to see Kizaru go to Wano, because you could have Kizaru versus the Supernovas Part 2. And those Supernovas, I know they can't wait to get their hands on Kizaru after how Kizaru embarrassed them. I know they can't wait to get their hands on him. And they have, you know, they're in the new world now. They have had a lot of experience. They got a lot of experience under their belt, so there is no doubt that that fight will not be as easy as it was at Sahabori Archipelago. It will not be as easy. These supernovas are ready. Are you telling me that all of those supernovas have no chance against Kizaru? I think they have a chance. So I think they should not just be worried about, you know, the samurais, but also those supernovas, because it's not gonna end up the same way. And if it does, my god, these admirals are, they're freaking strong. But with all that being said, I don't think it's gonna be Kizaru going to Wano. I think it's going to be Green Bull going to Wano, because we have not seen Green Bull yet. We have not seen him yet, and he just seems like the type to not give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, based on this introduction, this guy does not give a shit. Like, he's all, what is he called? He's all about divine justice, right? Divine justice, right? So he's all about the God thing. Like, if something is gonna happen, it's gonna happen, alright? There's no in between, okay? Alright? So I think he's just really careless, or carefree, I should say, and he'd be the type to just walk into Wano and not give a crap and just pick and fight with random people and not caring. Like, I just think he's that reckless type that will just walk into Wano, ignoring Akainu's order, and you know Akainu's gonna freaking pop a vein in his head in anger. So yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be Green Bull, because he doesn't really seem the type to care about somebody's strength. Like, I think he's more the type to think that if you're gonna die, you're gonna die. You're gonna live, you're gonna live. It's all in the hands of the gods. So I think it's definitely going to be him. Now, let's talk about that Iron Throne. Now, I don't know how many of you guys watch Game of Thrones, but that throne, that empty throne, definitely had some Game of Thrones vibes going with it, you know. So in Game of Thrones, right, Aegon Targaryen is the king of the seven kingdoms, right? Now, as you guys know, in One Piece, there are 7 Ds. That includes Monkey, Trafalgar, Saul, Portuguese, and more. You know there are 7 Ds. So, and in Game of Thrones, we have 7 kingdoms, and Aegon Targaryen is the ruler of those 7 kingdoms, and he's the one that sits on the Iron Throne. Now, in Game of Thrones, before there were the 7 kingdoms, right? And before there was the Iron Throne, there was one kingdom, and that kingdom was called Dorne. Yes, Dorne. It starts with a D. Dorne. Yeah, so I guess you guys know where I'm going with this. So before those 6 kingdoms, and before the Iron Throne was created, you know, with the breath of Balarian, this giant dragon that forged the throne, there was a kingdom called Dorne. So in One Piece, there are 7 Ds, right? There are 7 Ds. And those 7 Ds of the ancient kingdom went up against the 20 kings that, you know, or the 20 countries that allied against the 7 kingdoms. So in chapter 906, we saw that there were 7 altars. So 7 seems to be the magic number here. But anyways, what I'm saying is that if you're like if you really know your Game of Thrones, you could probably see where Oda is going here. I only know like some of the basic things about Game of Thrones, but if you're like a really into it, you might see where he's going. But what I got from this is that since before the six kingdoms of Game of Thrones, there was Dorne. It starts with a D. I think the D in One Piece is the first letter of the name of the ancient kingdom. And that's why the world government don't even want to talk about the Will of D. That's why they didn't call him Gold D Roger. That's why they just call him Gold Roger, because they do not want to be associated with that the D. They don't want the D to get out. They want to contain the D. But if you guys are Game of Thrones, what do you think about that though? I don't think it's a coincidence. I think Oda drew some inspiration from the Game of Thrones books, and I like Game of Thrones. I love me some dragon action, and so I kind of like it. And okay, I always said that Uranus is a dragon. I always said Uranus is a dragon. Actually, personally, I think Uranus is a dragon and Uranus is Joy Boy, and he's under the coffin under that hat. That's what I think. That Joy Boy is actually Uranus and he's in that coffin under that hat, and that's the body that Doflamingo wants. But so from this, we see that Oda drew a lot of inspiration from Game of Thrones, right? So what if Uranus is the dragon? What if Uranus is that dragon? One of the most powerful creatures that owns the sky in Game of Thrones are Daenerys Targaryen's dragons, right? So what if Uranus is a dragon? Based off that Chinese dragon god that controls the sky and the freaking weather. You own that thing. You control the world. You control Uranus. You could control the world. So oh god, that just came to me right there. Oh wow, this was I didn't expect to be talking this long, to be honest with you, but after a chapter like this, you just go on and on, because this is why I love One Piece. As I said, the world building is just top notch. I loved everything about this chapter, and it wasn't just all excitement and hype throughout. Like I said, those scenes with Charles being a total ass, I mean, like, those are kind of hard to watch, and you see Shirahoshi's tears, and it was just hard to watch. But this chapter had it all. Oh my, I've been away from One Piece for so long, and I'm glad I'm back. What do you guys think about this chapter? Just let me know in the comment section below, and if you like what I do here, want to see more, click that subscribe button and join the ascension. I'm Reverend. Thank you guys so much for watching. Later. I had to go back and record for a second because I just realized I didn't talk about Lucci. How is it possible that Lucci is in a chapter and I don't even mention it? What in the world of One Piece is going on? I mean, when you get a chapter with Shanks meeting the freaking Gorosei, Big Mom and Kaido, it's revealed that Big Mom and Kaido teamed up in the past, and it was them before before Roger's era. I mean, so much is going on in this chapter that, like, I didn't even get to talk about Lucci. And wow, I mean, he's a puppet. A complete total jackass puppet of the Celestial Dragons, and that's what I love about him. You know, he's kind of like a Kainu in a way, but like maybe not. I don't know about the absolute justice thing, but Actually, I'm wrong about that. Akainu, he's all about absolute justice. Something is completely wrong or completely right, and usually pirates are absolutely wrong and they deserve to die. But I don't know. I guess I kind of expected to see a little bit more from Robbie Lucci instead of just being the Celestial Dragon's puppet. At least thought he would have some kind of emotional, I don't know, reaction. Like come on, like a little girl. What is Shirahoshi, like, I don't know, like 17, 16, and she's being chained up, and this idiot is talking about, oh, I'm gonna make her my pet, like, and you're okay with that? Talking about, oh, the Celestial Dragons are gods, and oh, Rob Lucci, you're pissing me off right now, but that is good. That is good, because if this means that we're gonna get a Rob Lucci versus Luffy fight part 2, I'm in, baby. I'm in. And Kaku is here. Zoro versus Kaku against Stussy. Oh, she is so damn fine, Stussy. I don't know why, but I expected Big Morgan to be in the background for some reason, talking about this as big news. Oh, I would have loved that scene, but this was great, man. To see Rob Lucci again, and Kaku, and even Stussy. There was no big news Morgan, but that was okay. And I just hope we get that Luffy versus Luffy fight part 2, because even now I still believe that was the greatest fight in One Piece. But anyways, that's it for now. Again, amazing chapter. I had to come back and re-record because I just realized that I didn't get to say anything about Rob Lucci, and he deserves a mention because he's freaking Rob Mother effing Lucci.